Hello again, this is Dan Rexroth, and I'm here with Brian Opoka, who is not only our Director of Public Safety, but Brian is really leading up our emergency response team here at John Knox Village for this COVID-19 situation. Brian has just done an outstanding job over the last few weeks, and really, Brian, this just kind of sprung on you, and just a few weeks ago, everything seemed normal. And life at the village was great, and now all of a sudden we've got this situation that's come up, and you've just responded so well. And talk a little bit about what's happened over the last week. I know particularly for independent living residents, there's been some significant changes, and so talk about what's happened. I'm sure residents are aware of this, but you might just summarize what's happening right now.
Yeah, Dan, so a lot of the changes have been over the last week have been in independent living. We have been working hard to get everything kind of finalized and all the little bumps in the road getting squared away. What we have set up is we have delivery points in all the apartment areas that are open from 8 to 4:30 for deliveries to come. We want to stress that we don't want visitors inside the retirement community per the governor, and we're doing our best to make that happen by setting up these delivery points, as well as we've also worked some things out with some local pharmacies to be able to have pharmaceuticals delivered to the public safety building, and security is getting those delivered to their doorstep. So those are some things that we kind of got squared away last week in regards to independent living.
Well, that's really great service, and Brian, we're here to protect and serve, and thank you for trying to do that. We have 105 doors to our independent living apartments, which is an amazing thing, and so those have been locked really in an effort to protect residents. We want to make sure that COVID-19 doesn't find a home here at John Knox Village. I know we've reassigned some associates. I believe there are 20 associates around the village who have agreed to take another job assignment, because in some areas we've had work that's kind of gone away, and in other areas that work has ramped up. So we're trying to keep all of our folks employed, all of our associates. We want them to stay fully employed. I think you residents want that too. So I know we've got all these associates, some of which are now working in security. We've beefed that security up. I know we have extra people that have been assigned to housekeeping, because we want to make sure that proper housekeeping techniques are being taken care of. We've got some folks that are working in landscaping, for example, and other areas of the village. So it's tremendous how we've seen people respond. So talk to us a little bit about personal protective equipment. I understand that, and from the news media, seems to be all over that personal protective equipment, or PPE, is in short supply around the country. So talk about what we've got here at the village.
So yes, there is a very short supply in regards to the PPE that is available. Here at the village, we have been fortunate. We have been able to require some PPE through the state catch. We've got some masks that have been delivered, as well as we had a local manufacturer that we work with to develop a face shield that we've been able to get from them. They've already manufactured those and have delivered those. We're actually working on some other types of PPE with that same manufacturer today, as a matter of fact, to be able to get some more PPE that can be made here locally that we can utilize to protect our healthcare workers. We have had volunteers that have stepped up to kind of want to help out in making masks. We've had an abundance of requests for those of people that wanting to help out, and we welcome anybody's help with the PPE, because there is a shortage of PPE. We just need to ensure that the PPE that is being made is something that is going to be a piece of equipment that we can utilize in those healthcare areas. So local manufacturers helping out has been a tremendous help, because a lot of the vendors are on back order and it's hard to get some of that equipment. So we appreciate everybody's support with that.
Wow, thank you, Brian. And it really is neat. I know we've got a manufacturer in Raytown who was in a completely different line of manufacturing business, and they adapted and are making now these face shields for us, which is a tremendous benefit to us. I know there's a distillery that's making hand sanitizer, and then other manufacturers that have also adapted and adjusted. Boy, isn't it great to be in America where people respond, companies respond, and we've got great people all over the Kansas City area that are coming to the aid of John Knox Village. And so I just, on behalf of John Knox Village and myself, you are really our point person on this whole emergency response. So I know it's a heavy load, it's a heavy burden for you, but I know the residents of the village also want to thank you for all you're doing. You've stepped up your leadership role. I can see it every day, the things that are happening. I just want to thank you for all you're doing. So let's give a virtual round of applause. I think a standing ovation for Brian Opoka, Director of Public Safety and head of our emergency response team here at John Knox Village. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.